Welcome back to another Code Recollection. Last time we entered Chapter 5, and Jessica's standing by our father. We're not so convinced. Let's start with our character updates. Jessica told me a little more about what happened to Mom and Dad being a suspect. She says I should believe in him, but how can I do that when he won't even look at me? What should I do, Mom? Oh yeah, that was another thing. Our dad is a suspect in our mom's murder. Where did Dad go? I don't really even want to see him, but I need to take him with me to rescue Jessica. There's a big metal door in the courtyard across from the door he left through, so he probably went through that. Also, there sure are a lot of flowers in the courtyard. Was Dad taking care of them? He doesn't seem like the type. I finally found my dear Aunt Jessica. I'm glad she's okay, but what kind of monster is Bill, locking people up in underground rooms? She still can't move because of the stupid handcuffs, so I want to rescue her ASAP. But she said not to worry about her, that I should focus on finding Dad. But why? He's the guy who cares more about his research than his own family. But knowing Jessica, she definitely won't move until I bring Dad, so I guess I have to look for him now. Dee floated off somewhere right after my dad left, leaving me all alone. I wound up in the mansion's courtyard while looking for Dee. Colorful flowers are blooming all around the fountain. Could it be that my dad, as cold as he treated me, has been taking care of these flowers? I can't even begin to imagine. I found a sprout key in the fountain and used it to get into the silver bird room. Dee was in there. He told me about when Thomas was killed, and it brought up memories of my own. I couldn't stop myself from crying. I'll never forget Dee's kindness as he stayed by my side, looking over me without a word. But the thing I was most happy about is we found Jessica. Bill had handcuffed her in the wine cellar. He's still stuck down there even now. Hold on, Jessica, we'll come back for you. Okay, so Ashley's profile there is a pretty good recap of what happened last stream in general. Dee remembered his father being murdered. It was in the Silver Bird room, which is probably why he was too scared to get near that place. He looked so sad, staring down at the blood-stained carpet. I know how he feels so much that it hurts. When Lawrence got sick, Thomas came back to the island with Dee and was murdered in the Silver Bird room by his one and only brother, Henry. I can't imagine how Thomas felt. Was it shock? Sadness? Or maybe the worst part was knowing that Dee would be all alone once he was gone. The Silver Bird room is where Thomas died after Henry shot him. The room was sealed up, and no one has been there since. Did they just not want to go in there anymore? Maybe they didn't want to touch it again? I guess I'll never know. I'll also never know why one member of a family would kill another. It seems like the brothers got along really well. So what went wrong? The farewell letter we found in Franny's parents' room from Marie to Henry showed how sad and painful this all was for Marie. But there was also a big hint in the letter for finding the key to the Silver Bird room. You threw the sprout key in the fountain. This letter was the reason I was able to find Dee. No update to Franny, Leonard, Lawrence, or Wells. Alright, there's all our new character messages. So answering that question, my co-panelists are number 1, Beauty Caitlin, friend of mine, works at Gaming Trend. And number 2, Ash Paulson, of Good Vibes Gaming. So, those two have agreed to do it with me. Should be fun. Let's see, down here. Do I have a key to this door now? Should I keep going in this direction? Oh, I can unlock it from this side. There we go.
Oh.
Oh, I should also review which rooms I need to go to for the last paper cranes. I think they'll all be on the main path, because I've been pretty good at keeping up with these. Okay, the big metal room where we haven't been yet. And then 2 more places underground that we haven't been yet, so good. I don't have to backtrack anywhere. So up ahead, that door is locked. There's 2 more locked doors on the 2nd floor that I haven't opened. Don't know if I need to. Guess I'm just gonna go with the flow here. Wait, you can't leave the mansion? Oh, that's the exit. I thought that was the courtyard. My bad. Alright, let's see what happens when I approach the metal door.
No good. It's locked.
Ashley, look. There's a ladder on the other side of the door.
You're right. Where do you think it leads?
I would say up. Excelsior.
That's the door to my great-grandfather's room.
Okay, so I do have to go up to the 2nd floor, where those other locked doors are. I'll try this side. Oh, how long did I say that was? It's been so long since anyone used that I don't remember how many minutes it says in the description. So just to make sure that I do it properly, let me read that. Hold on, I can't. It does not say 10 minutes, Pat. Oh, how silly of me. Of course, it was 20 minutes. 2 minutes, that's what it says. Alright, howdy. Timer 2 minutes. For anyone watching the VOD, you can make me sing. It won't go particularly well. Alright, here we go. Fast Backwards is here, and all they missed is we tried to open a door. It was locked, and now I'm going upstairs to find some more. Then I'll open what's at the top and find another entrance. It's letting me outside. That's the end of the sentence. I got 1.5 minutes to go. And the screen is loading slowly. I guess it didn't really take that long. That was down and dirty and lowly of me to insult the game and it's loading when it really isn't that bad at all. It's running just fine. It's a perfectly good remaster. And I can unlock this door from this side. So if I need a shortcut to the East Wing hallway, I can get there. And that is all the way I would like to go. Back to the place where the plot will be. I have 1 minute left, and Pac wants me to change the octave. I guess I can try, but I don't know why. He thinks it's a good idea. It's this door, and it's got 2 birds and some sprouts.
How can we open it?
How can we open the door?
This design.
Yes! That is a design. Why do I have 30 seconds
left? This one
left?
has 2.
The other room's doors had 1 bird, but this one has 2. Everyone in this house is going to think I've gone insane. These birds are holding sprouts in their beaks through the sunshine and the rain. This is the final 10 seconds you get, so you'd better save up those points. I can now combine items. I didn't expect a new mechanic at this point. I also didn't expect the timer to make an actual sound when it went off.
Maybe the key to this.
Okay, so there's 2 sprouts. I have 2 sprout keys. So suddenly the ability to combine items at this moment in time.
Yes!
The 2 keys combined into 1. It seems pretty late in the game to introduce that. Thank you for the clip pack.
Yes!
We hope you've enjoyed the musical episode of Another Code Recollection. It's not over yet, mind you. It's only been 11 minutes of this recording.
Whoa, check out the view. Where's the ladder? Shouldn't it lead to this room?
The fish would praise me for that, because no human being with functioning ears would.
What's wrong, Dee?
This is my great-grandfather, Uncle Henry, and my father.
Grandfather, do you know who I am?
I mean, if they were a
I
bass, they would
remember.
probably appreciate the lower octave.
My father brought me here. My great-grandfather was asleep in the bed. He was sleeping so peacefully. But as we got closer, he opened his eyes and looked at us. He smiled, but it was sad. Father took his hand and squeezed it. He was crying. That was the first time I ever saw him cry.
Oh, Dee.
We have to track down your dad.
Yeah.
Alright, so I think we're looking for a ladder in here. Alright, did it say the paper crane was on the 2nd floor or the 1st floor? Let me double check that. Second, got it. So it is in this room. I will find you, paper crane.
Wait.
This is a movie projector, right? What sort of movies could your great-grandfather even watch on this thing? Huh?
Wow.
Ashley.
I just remembered something. For the 17th time. After my great-grandfather died, my father showed me something with this. Huh?
Hey.
It was some old footage. It was shots of my father and Uncle Henry playing together as kids. 2 of them together.
By the way...
It seemed like it made him sad for some reason.
Dee.
I get that. Fancy bed. This bed looks fit for a princess. How luxurious. I've only seen beds this fancy in picture books and on TV. There's a small cabinet by the bed. Wells told me that there's something great-grandfather cherished in this drawer.
Oh.
Oh, you were right. There's something in there. To my beloved father, I ask that you find it in yourself to forgive me for turning my back on the life you had hoped for me and choosing the life of a musician. I left home without so much as a word to you, and was confronted with the cruelties of the world. However, I'm happy that I chose this path for myself. I married and became the father of 2 children. and now I hope there will be a day when I can return home and speak with you. Leonard Edward. It's a letter from Lawrence's son. Looks like he left home. Then the two children Leonard mentions must be Uncle Henry and my father. Paper crane, paper crane. Not that, the camera. Leonard Edward, the musician. Lawrence had one child, a son named Leonard. Lawrence tried to establish himself as a successor, but whether due to a difference in values or something else entirely, Leonard refused to take over the family business. Instead, he chose to leave home and pursue a career as a musician. There was no word on Leonard's whereabouts for a long time. Then one day he sent his father a letter, telling him he married a woman he met in a bar. Lawrence resented the fact he had not approved of the marriage, so he refused to see his son. They lost touch again after this. Several years passed, and Lawrence received another letter from Leonard. He had two sons by then, Henry and Thomas. Although Lawrence finally agreed to see his son, it was too late. Leonard became sick during an epidemic and passed away at age 30. A thought occurred to me as I learned of these two and how they couldn't connect with one another. In order for a child to understand the motivations of a parent who loses themselves in their work, it may be necessary for the child to grow up and become a parent themselves. I wonder if my father thought about Jessica and me as he worked, the same way Ashley occupies my thoughts as I continue my work on another.
Huh?
I think I saw another one of these chairs in the study. Lawrence must have been a fan of them. What goodies do we have on the desk? A book. An old notebook. There's something written in it. May 1948. I feel my time drawing near. I've decided to record my thoughts while I'm still able to grasp a pen. Today, I recall a day from 32 years ago. The day I first held Henry and Thomas in my arms. That was also the day I received a letter of reconciliation from my son Leonard, who left home after rejecting the life I desired for him. The two young children, Henry and Thomas, appeared while I was caught in a maelstrom of grief and regret. I had just been informed of Leonard's sudden death. Yet I will never forget the innocent smiles they wore that day. I resolved then and there to raise Henry and Thomas myself. I loved them more than I had loved anyone before. I wished only for their lives to be filled with joy, and fulfilling that wish became my sole purpose. Henry and Thomas were like a pair of birds who delivered joy to my life. My wish was heard. Both boys growing up healthy and with love for one another. Before long they sought to fulfill wishes of their own, each choosing a path that drew them from the nest. Henry wished to be an artist, Thomas a novelist. I found myself alone in this mansion, yet still wishing for nothing but their happiness. However, as the two began their journeys down their respective paths, my wish was completely and utterly crushed by upheavals of the time. The world was cast into war, and the two were sent to its bitter battlefield. To add insult to injury, this was also when the gold mine withered to nothing, no longer able to support even me alone. Powerless, I prayed for the war to end, and for the safe return of my beloved Henry and Thomas. When news of the war's end finally came, and the boys returned to me, they were different. My two birds had been hurt. It was as if their wings had been clipped. Henry had lost his right arm, so could no longer hold a paintbrush, and Thomas had lost his heart, and with it, his ability to trust. I held the tired, wounded pair in my arms and I cried. I was reminded of 32 years prior, when I held them for the first time. I prayed that the scars on their bodies and hearts might heal as soon as possible, but now, I wonder if my actions from that point on were right. I once again find myself navigating sorrow and regret, just as I did when Leonard passed. Only now, there are no innocent faces to be found, no birds to ease these feelings.
This is
Lawrence's journal.
Great-grandfather.
Huh.
There's something stuck between the pages. Is this a letter? Was it sent here from someone? Upon my death, Henry Edward is to inherit the entirety of my estate.
This
is Lawrence's will. He even signed it. My great-grandfather's will? Yeah. It says the heir to his inheritance is Henry.
But that means...
So that means the will we found in the Silver Bird room.
Okay.
My father must have written that himself.
Huh?
Drawer won't open. Drawer won't open. Drawer won't open. Check all the drawers. Aha! There's a mysterious disc in the drawer.
Wow.
What could this be?
What? Huh?
What's this rail?
Huh?
Hold on, is this a trap door? That ladder we saw must be under it.
Hmm?
It won't budge with that desk in the way. What can I do? Do I have any photos of something that resembles... Wait a minute, that disc was in the fountain. I didn't take a picture of the fountain, but I know that disc was in the fountain. You think I gotta backtrack to the fountain? It's a possibility.
Ash.
Oh, after clicking on it for the third time, it lets me rotate it. I think I do need to go back to the, Yeah, I need to go back to the fountain and figure out where those things were oriented. Alright, anything else in this room before I do that? The portrait's title is displayed beneath it. The two returned from war. That is not an Easter egg. Stop spreading lies, Pack. I wonder how long it's been since this fireplace was used. It's covered in cobwebs. It's gonna be such a pain for whoever wants to use it next. Title under the painting reads, The Beloved Golden and Silver Birds.
Huh.
I think I saw something like that in Wells's journal.
Maybe.
Does that mean these are Henry and Thomas? Yeah, no duh. The book titles are all way over my head. I wonder if I'd understand any of them.
Huh.
This sofa has so much fine detail. It must have been expensive. The title under the painting reads, My Son, Leonard. This must be Lawrence's son. He must have kept this painting close by so he could always feel his son's presence. A round device made of tin sits on the oh, I thought it said slits.
Wait.
Because of the little holes in it. That's a zoetrope. So, what's it?
Hey.
They were invented a long time ago, long before I was born. The pictures inside move when it spins. How does it work? Spin the outside with your hand, and look in through the slits on the side. That's why I thought it said slits! They called it slits! You heard them. I'll give it a try. Whee!
Huh.
That's pretty cool. It looked like it was moving. Moving pictures are so much fun. I used to love this thing. I guess inventions like this led to the creation of movies. Wow, I had no idea. How do you know all this stuff? It's great.
Hey,
Well, I always wanted to be a filmmaker when I grew up. The D was for director. That was my D-ream.
D.
Oh, sorry, D. Now, I feel good about solving that mystery, huh? I'm sure that's the answer. There's a screen? My great-grandfather would watch this in his bed. He had such a nostalgic look on his face when he did. I wonder what he'd watch. Something behind the screen. Alright, we're gonna open that door, using whatever I can find at the fountain. But that'll be next time on another Code Recollection.